Yo, what up? This your boy Scotty ATL, and one time for the progress report. You feel me? I'm making real progress, nigga. Yeah.
The progress report.
It's your girl Lala Shepherd checking in. This is the progress report, man. I'm here with my man Scotty ATL. This one has been long overdue. Been wanting this one for a minute, but we finally here. 2018. Scotty, what's going on?
What's happening? What's popping? You know what I'm saying? We finally here.
Finally.
We've been trying to get this going for a minute.
Facts.
Yeah. So it's time.
Definitely, it's definitely time.
Yeah.
So, who is Scotty ATL?
Scotty ATL is a dope ass person. You know, he's so many things. You know what I mean? There's so many people. I think just more importantly, he's a God-fearing man. He's talented. He's a family man. You know, he's a businessman. And he worked like hell. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Yeah.
That's one thing I do know. Now, when I first met you, you was selling the goats.
Gold grill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still do that.
Word.
Yeah.
That's dope. Talk about being an entrepreneur and just knowing how to bring in, you know, multiple streams of income, you know, while being an artist, because that's important.
Well, I feel like most people, you know, think that the rap game is I get in and I get a hit record, you know, like the first song. And the reality is that most rappers actually live, you know, a lot of them have jobs, you know what I'm saying, or they're independent. You know, it's more of them that's like that than it is dudes that come in the game and get a hit on the first song. And so, like, for me, I had to really work my, you know, build my fan base. Like, I didn't come in the game and, you know, just get a hit on the first record. So I had to find ways, you know what I mean, to find other streams of income. And just along the way, you know, I was just taught, like, you know, millionaires had, you know, multiple streams of incomes and different things like that. And I read a lot too anyway. So, you know, also studying the game, I saw a lot of my peers get into the industry, and some of them would have big hit records. And, like, they wouldn't be able to, once the record was over, like, it was over for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I didn't want that to be for me. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like even some of your favorite artists, if you look at them now, if they had a piece of merchandise or, you know, something that they were selling, you know, that it could live longer than them, you know what I mean, longer than the record, it would be something that was dope that you would still buy from them, you know what I mean? And you see that going on now, you know what I mean? Like, it's artists out that still got this, that's got things that, you know, that they do that's branded well, that they gonna always be able to make money from, even if they don't got a dope song out.
Mm-hmm. True. I know you do read a lot. I saw you was talking about that when you did the interview with the kids. I thought that was dope. Yeah, so what you currently reading right now?
I'm reading this book called The Greatest Salesman. Yeah. Man, it's a dope book, you know. I like it because it's like taking me a year to read the book. You know, I read pretty fast, but like this book, like, not to spoil it, but you know, it's a guy that meets this guru and he want to become like the greatest salesman. And the guru basically tell him like, well, you got to read these scrolls. And it's like 11 scrolls, but he tell him you got to read them once a day for 30 days. And so that's the catch of the book, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to read these different scrolls every day. Or, you know, it's a chapter, you know, you read every day. It ain't that long, but it like beating your brain certain concepts that's good for business practices or, you know, just for life in general. Yeah, it's dope. I read a lot of books, but, you know, I just been sticking to this book really this year. I just been reading it every day.
Dope. I'm going to check it out.
Yeah.
Now, you from Atlanta, correct?
Did.
What part?
Eastside.
East Atlanta.
Yeah.
Word.
I'm from the east side, like Thonya, Decatur. You know what I'm saying? East Atlanta, shout out to Kirkwood, you know what I'm saying? All that, you know what I mean? Did. But we on the east side right now, this like Thonya, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Decatur, you know what I'm saying? All that. Stone Mountain, what's happening? Yeah.
Word.
Yeah, for sure.
let's talk about Atlanta, man.
Okay.
Atlanta got so much rich history and culture behind it, and hustle and everything, and ambition and everything. You know, I'm from Ohio, so I came down here, you know, like 5 years ago, man, and I fell in love with it instantly.
Right.
Coming from Atlanta, man, like, talk about just being raised in Atlanta, like, and just how that made you who you are today.
Well, I feel like being raised in Atlanta, you know, you learn how to hustle. One of the things that I like about Atlanta is that everybody got to hustle. Like, we joke about it, and it's become like, you know, like a topic, you know, everybody talk about, you know, like the cow, you know what I'm saying? Like, but like, in general, you know, is that everybody has found a way to, like, one up or hustle or, you know, come up, you know, in a sense. And I feel like, you know, it just taught me, like, in the same way when I was growing up, people would always talk about New York. And about, like, man, if you can make it in New York, like, you can make it anywhere, you know what I mean? And that's, you know, we kind of grew up with that stigma, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like now it's almost like if you can make it in Atlanta, you can make it anywhere. Because there's so much competition. It's so much talent. You know, everybody doing what you're doing. And people tell me all the time, like, man, I'm going to move to Atlanta. You know, I don't discourage them, you know what I'm saying? But, like, I always tell them, like, man, if you ain't taking over in your own city, it's going to be hard to take over in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Because there's more people doing the same thing you're doing. So, you know, it ain't that it's that it's impossible, but you just got to really be on your grind. You know what I'm saying? So that's what Atlanta did for me. You know?
That's real. Address some misconceptions about Atlanta, though.
The whole gay shit, like, man, people say that they don't live in Atlanta, they be watching TV, you know what I'm saying?
True.
Like, I don't run into a lot of gay people like that. And I ain't no homophobic, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna then sit here like say, you know, I'm against whatever, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying that's a misconception. You feel what I mean? Like, it ain't like that. Like, it's just gay land, I walk outside, you know what I'm saying? You did that? Nah, it ain't like that, you know what I mean? Yeah, and then too, like, I think people think that Atlanta is like the TV shows. You know
True.
what I mean? Like, people think Atlanta like the TV shows. Like, I go places and they'll be talking about, like, you know, how it is on Love and Hip Hop and shit like that. You know, like, they don't understand that, you know, that stuff's scripted. You know what I mean? Like,
True.
Yeah, so.
And just to the first point that you brought up, too, the beautiful thing about Atlanta, you got so many subdivisions. You can go anywhere for what you seek.
You can do whatever you
know
want
what I mean?
do. You can be yourself.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I ain't hating.
For sure.
I'm just saying it's a misconception.
That is a misconception.
You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? You did that.
Absolutely.
For sure.
So when did Scotty ATL fall in love with music?
I fell in love with music as a young kid, you know, growing up. But I think, like, my most memorable moment was just seeing Outkast, you know, and hearing them, you know, coming up. You know, they said something about Lithonia. You know, I called it 86 Lithonia headed to Decatur. And that was the first time I had heard somebody, you know, on their level shout out my hood. And they were so player and they were so suave, you know what I mean? And they was like hustlers. And that was the lifestyle that, you know, my dad and, you know, my cousins and my family, you know, was living too. You know what I mean? So, like, it was like the soundtrack I was watching, you know what I'm saying, on what they was living. I mean, what they was rapping about, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
What would you say is, how would you describe your style and your sound when it comes to music?
I would say that my style is just real. I try to give people both sides of the spectrum, you know, when it comes to life, like, you know, talk about the glamorous side of things, but then also talk about, you know, the other side of the fence. You know, I feel like most of the all-time rappers or the greatest rappers alive talked about their real lives. You know what I'm saying? When you look at the Biggies, the Pops, Jay-Z's, you know, even artists, you know what I'm saying, of this time, you know, that's coming up, they always spoke about their real life, you know what I'm saying, and just their everyday life. And I feel like that's what my music is. You're going to find something you can relate to. You're gonna find something that's gonna get you through the day. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna find something you might be able to cry to. You know what I'm saying? Something you're gonna get ready to go to the club to, all that, because it's just real music.
True. Now, you've been putting in some work, man. You got a couple of projects out there, man. But what would you say is your most defining project and why?
My most defining project, I would probably have to say, is It's Time.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, I had some projects that I feel like have done really well, but It's Time, I felt like it led up, it met the expectation. You know, like in terms of the statement that I made, you know what I mean? Like, it's time. Like I feel like everything that started happening and falling into place, it started showing people like, man, like, nah, bro wasn't just tripping. Like, he got billboards going up in the city. He going on tour with Big Boy. He going on tour with Ace Hood. He on the radio. He playing in the clubs, the international song. Like, nah, it's time for real. And so, you know, I just think just in that sense, it showed me a lot about, you know, what you speak and what you put out. You know what I mean? What you say, like, on the real level. You know what I mean? Like, even now, I'm just still living the whole It's Time. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
True. Talk about your banger that you got right now, the single that you got, that Rachet joint, man, produced by Tasha Catour. Shout out to the female producers as well. But talk about that banger.
Yo, shout out to Tasha Catour. You know what I'm saying? She did her thing. I was just in the studio with her. I think it was last week. Might have been this week. It started be running into each other.
Word.
Yeah, we did that record, and I was in Louisville. She sent me beats all the time, you know what I mean? But I was in Louisville at the time, and I had got the song in my head, and I thought I was kind of tripping, you know, because I was on a whole nother wave, you know. I was like, on some, man, I want to keep it real. Like, I'm thinking, like, I'm trying to go in depth with these songs. Like, it just really went in the scope of what I was trying to do. And I had the hook in my head, but I ain't recorded, you know. And so I got back home to Atlanta, and by mistake, the beat came on. I was in the studio. I was in this studio, matter of fact. The beat came on. And they were like, man, what's that? I like, man, a little song I had, bro, you know. Like, nah, play that back. I played it back. And so, you know, I just laid the hook, and everybody liked it. So then I wrote a verse, you know, to it. Everybody started going crazy, so I was like, man, hold up, just cut it off, you know, like, I ain't want nobody to be stealing my
Word.
track, you feel me?
True.
So I came back a couple weeks later and laid it down, finished it, and we did like a thing where we would let people listen to the songs when I was on tour with the Cool Club. We would like have these tastemaker meetings before the show, and let people come out and just rate the song. And then I did 2 of them in Atlanta. They were both sold out. But we would tally up the songs people would say was their favorite one. And literally in every session, Rachet was people's favorite song, like by a landslide, you know what I mean? And so that's how I picked the songs. And we started rolling them out, basically just from what the DJs and the tastemakers told me was their favorite one.
Definitely, it worked in all, you know, dynamics. That's what's dope about it too. Now speaking about the Cool Club, could you talk about that, man? Let us know what that is.
Yeah, you know, shout out to the Cool Club. You know, shout out to my man J. Rain. He just dropped a new EP today. To come, go get that. You know what I'm saying? My boy Tony Bone on the way. You know what I'm saying? With Cold Hearted. You know, shout out to the whole crew. You know what I'm saying? Kissy Lee. You know what I'm saying too. You know what I mean as well. But you know, the Cool Club is just a group of people that are come together to use their talents and their gifts to change the world. You know, it's a family, and we really do support each other. You know, we're organized, we meet, we actually spend time with each other, you know what I mean? And we just dedicated to seeing everybody that's with the Cool Club succeed. I like it because, again, you know, I always feel like when something match up, you know, like the album title, It's Time, I feel like it's a hit, you know what I'm saying? And so, like, the Cool Club to me, like, it's really what it is. You know, it's a group of people that came together on some real cool shit. You know what I mean? Just handling biz, taking care of their family, and like I said, taking over the world, changing the world. Yeah.
Word, I respect that, man. Y'all been doing your thing, putting in some work.
Appreciate
I see
it.
Kissy Lee, she about to drop, ain't she? About to have a baby.
Yeah, did that. You know
Word, that's major.
Yeah, y'all tune in, you know what I'm saying? So, all
Definitely.
that, man, all that. You know, I just, for me, I think it's just about quality. And, you know, what we're trying to do is just be a quality group of individuals for the South, you know what I'm saying, to represent and just really put it down in a really creative way so that people can, you know, see the South in a different perspective. You know what I'm saying? It's not all about trapping all the time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we trapping, you know, and a different, you know, perspective to that word. You know
Facts.
what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I do dig that. You know, but at the same time, you know, it's some hustlers, you know what I'm saying? It's some ambitious people. It's some entrepreneurs. It's a nigga that just get into the money. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I got my own past and back life, you know what I mean? But, you know, everybody ain't been in the trap, you know what I'm saying? Everybody not currently in the trap. You know, so we making music for people that just living every day, wherever you doing, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you doing, if you trapping, if you work a 9-to-5 job, my nigga, if you don't got a job right now, you feel me? We making music for all that, you know what I mean? So,
Facts. What does Scotty ATL smoke out of?
raw cones.
Ooh, I like the raw.
I'm smoking out the raw cone because in backwood, I was a big backwood advocate, you know what I'm saying, for a minute. But them backwood were killing me softly. You did what I'm saying? And I had to let them motherfuckers go. So I'm on the raw cone now. Shout out to my man Corey Moore, gave me some real game, you know, told me that, you know, when you're smoking a lot, you got to smoke in the raws. Yeah, because you're going to fuck around and die.
Straight up. Ain't no other way to put it.
Too harsh, man. I hate to say that. I know niggas don't be want to hear this shit, but
it's true. We know it.
Backwood would be too harsh for a nigga, bro. You goddamn dope.
Yeah. Especially when you're an artist, man. You need your voice. You know what I mean?
Man, you don't want to be goddamn talking with one of them things and you know what I'm saying?
Commercials be killing me, man. Like, goddamn.
That shit for real. I ain't joking. That shit for real.
Word.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Bankroll Fresh, man.
Did that.
You know what I mean? Rest in peace, Bankroll.
Yeah.
I remember y'all was about to put out a project.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we were so excited for it. But talk about your favorite memories with Bankroll, and then are we still gonna get that project?
Well, my favorite memory with Bankroll was I was at Mike Mars' crib, and Bankroll was on the road somewhere. I can't remember where he was at, but I was at Mike Mars' crib on his patio. We was rehearsing for something, and I was talking to Bankroll about just getting money and booking shows. You know, like we both kind of come up organizing our own shit. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of like in the sense like, you know, working as hard as our managers. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. So you know, I was just talking to him, and he was just telling me about, like, at the time, I remember, like, I had people around me that was kind of like, when you had a certain fee, you want to stick to this fee. You know what I'm saying? Like, you going to charge this number, stick to this number. If a nigga ain't talking about that number, then wait till he ready, you know what I'm saying? We're going to stick to our, you know what I'm saying, whatever. And I remember talking to Bang, and he was like, bro, I'm getting everything. I like, for real? He just changed my whole perspective. That day when we talked, that shit just changed everything for me. But he was like, bro, try everything. Try. I just remember that whole conversation. But as far as the project goes, you know, right now, you know, the family is working on putting out his solo album. And you know, I just gave them my word, you know what I mean, on some real shit that until that went down, you know what I mean, then, you know, it wasn't nothing, you know what I'm saying? So that, you know, their request was that the first project that come out that the fans hear would be his solo project. So, you know, I'm honoring that.
Nah, and I respect that 100%, man. You know what I mean? Again, rest in peace, Bankroll Fresh.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So I definitely look forward to getting that joint project, though.
Did that.
So lastly, man, our show is called The Progress Report. We talk about getting better, just progressing and just doing better shit, man. So can you define what the word progress means to Mr. Scotty ATL?
Progress is moving forward. Progress is motion, you know, just staying on the move. That's it, really. That's progress. It's a difference between productivity and activity.
Mm-hmm.
You can be doing a whole lot of shit, but not be making no progress. Did that.